morning, everybody. We're gonna go to Eggs and Things and just get something nutritious. Just arrived at the Anamori Inari station. We need to find the shrine now. I don't know where it is. So today we are exploring Ota, which is the largest of Tokyo's 23 wards. As it's so easily accessible from Haneda Airport, you would assume that this place would be absolutely packed with tourists. However, most travelers tend to miss it in favor of areas like Shinjuku, Shibuya and Akihabara. Our first stop was Anamori Inari Shrine. If you're visiting Japan in late 2020 and want to take a nice Instagram shot of some beautiful vermilion torii without hundreds of other people in the photo, then this would be a pretty good place to do that. The reason I'm saying late 2020 is because this shrine is currently undergoing renovations, but they are expected to be completed later this year. Despite the renovations, it was still really interesting to visit this area, as the whole station seems to be dedicated to the shrine. All the sacred fox statues are on display, and people are still able to pray for good business, safe travels, or simply a bit of luck. So now we're heading to Kamata stations, and we're walking through one of the big shopping arcades in Kamata. And Ohta actually was the first place to have a shopping street in the whole of Tokyo. So around here you'll find many shopping streets, very similar to the ones you see in places like Nakano and Asakusa. We're going to go to Ikegami after this to check out some more sites, but there's just so many things to do here, and I think a lot of tourists miss this place out because it's so close to the airport. You wouldn't think there's anything here, but actually there's a lot. DVDs are still very much alive in Japan, so if you are after some collectible DVDs, this might be a good place to check it out. There's lots of places to drink, lots of places to eat, and lots of regular shops like glasses and clothing and thrift stores. We are walking to Honmonji Temple, and it's quite a bit of a walk. It's 16 minutes from the train station, which could explain why there's nobody here. I kind of realized why there's not many people here, and it's a lot to do with the fact that it's a very strenuous uphill walk. Temple actually looks a lot like Sensoji, but I think it's overlooked because it's definitely nowhere near as popular. Also, Sensoji has those alleyways where you can buy like snacks and food and stuff, and this one is a lot quieter. It's a lot more quaint. Something I've just noticed, there's also a pagoda there, and it looks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 5-story pagoda. You can walk over there. Did you see that crow?
No.
I thought that crow was going to land on my head for a second. And also there's a huge bell. It's very similar to Sensoji. I actually think this is prettier because you have the trees, you have like the koyo, the autumnal changing leaves, and in the springtime apparently they have lots and lots of cherry blossom trees, so it's like a beautiful sakura viewing spot. It's a good spot for hanami. A really interesting thing is that you see this beautiful olden day pagoda, but then behind it you can see the airplanes going by from Haneda Airport. It's like the old versus the new Tokyo. I just think it's very cool. I feel it's a good representation of how Japan holds on to its culture despite new developments. I don't think you can even see it on camera, but that's an airplane going by. Right there. I just think it's really interesting that this is so close to the airport, and yet most people don't even know it exists.
It's so fancy. I've just stroked a dog, but I didn't get it on camera. But he was so cute and fluffy and white, and there he is. I stroked that dog. There's so many people walking their dogs here. I love that. Oh, it's so beautiful though, look! Wow! So I didn't realize that the entrance was there and up the steps. We actually walked all the way around up this really steep hill. It was not aesthetic in any way, but the actual entrance is beautiful. So beautiful, there's like autumnal leaves and beautiful steps, and it's much more grand than what we did. So here they also have a really big monument dedicated to Nichiren, who is the Buddhist priest of the Kamakura period. Pretty much this entire area is mostly dedicated to him. I feel like it's definitely worth a visit if you are near Haneda and you're staying in Ota. This is really interesting because despite this place looking a little bit like Sensoji, it doesn't have the same number of tourists here. In fact, I haven't seen any tourists at all. I've just seen a lot of local Japanese people walking their dogs, doing some exercise, just chilling out basically. And it's a very different feeling to, let's say, Meiji Jingu or Sensoji or some other place that's very popular with the tourists. It's nice. It's a good place to get away and just relax and observe actual Japanese way of life. I think it's particularly beautiful right now because of all the autumn leaf color. And I did check online and it said that this place gets beautiful sakura trees blooming in the springtime, and also plum trees. Plum trees seem to have an affiliation with Ohta in general. So if you want to see some beautiful plum trees during late February, early March, and also sakura blossoms, then maybe check this place out. There's quite a few Zen gardens here. There's also one behind me right there, and you can walk in and have a look. This entire area is basically the Japan's Buddhist Association. So you will find a lot of Buddhist temples here, Zen gardens, lots of birds, right? This here still very much feels like old Japan, despite being so close to Haneda International Airport. That's what I can't get over. There's this very traditional area that's so close to people coming in and out of the country, yet it retained its cultural character and there's no tourists anywhere.
Oh, big fish.
Whoa, look at that big fish. So now we are heading to Rengetsu, which is a cafe that used to be a soba noodle shop for pilgrims traveling to the temple area here. But then they renovated it and now it is a cute little cafe serving delicious coffee. So that is our next stop. This is non-alcoholic Irish coffee, which they've just drip made from scratch. And this is Phantom, which is a chocolate cassis muffin with candy floss on top. And I believe this is the cassis syrup, and you have to like pour it really slowly. That's what the girl told me, to pour it slowly onto the candy floss. But they just made it. I actually thought they would take it out from the refrigerator at the front, but no, they've actually just made this. I'm really impressed, and he's adorable. You're so cute. I'm going to try my iced, non-alcoholic Irish coffee now. I'm so impressed by the way they've made it. They've made the cream from like scratch. They've like mixed it and whipped it in front of me. The coffee is just a little bit sweet, just a tiny, tiny bit. Slowly, 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 slowly. Oh no! There's something inside. It's cream. I'm going to try the muffin. I just saw the sign for free Wi-Fi. Can you believe that this building is 83 years old? It used to be a soba noodle rest stop for people going to the temple, for pilgrims going to the temple, and now it's a really cool cafe with interesting desserts such as the fantôme. It looks like they've completely upgraded it and maintained the original architecture, because even though it's old, it still feels very clean. I wouldn't be able to tell that it's that old from the inside. It definitely looks like a Japanese house, but it's very, very well maintained. We just got done at Rengetsu and it was such a lovely place. It was so warm and welcoming inside, wasn't it? And the drinks were delicious. I can't believe that house is 83 years old and it used to be a soba noodle shop. And now it's a really kind of unique, interesting cafe in this beautiful, historic, quaint area of Ohta. From the outside you can really see how old it is, but they have maintained it so well.